Thank you, everybody, for coming. As Erin said, my name is Traci Jones, and this is Jesse. Jesse may or may not sit. We don't know.
Jesse really likes the stage.
Jesse is a ham. But if you could see me, as I thought about this and I thought back, I tried to pinpoint the exact moment when things started to change for me. I was always bound and determined to have people know that I was capable of doing things that anyone else could do. When I was in elementary school, we watched a film about Abraham Lincoln, and I went home and I gathered all the books in my house and I went through each one and looked for all the words that were unfamiliar to me so I could learn. I've always had an appetite for learning. I'm sorry. When I was in high school, I struggled with my mental health due to a lot of traumas that I had endured. And sorry, the sirens are distracting me. I'm sorry. Sirens are something, this isn't part of what I had prepared, but sirens are something that are part of my life every day. I have a mitochondrial mutation which destroys my nerves. So I'm in and out of the hospital frequently, and which is why I have Jesse, because my optic nerves have atrophied. And I was declared legally blind about 5 years ago. Before that, I saw just like everyone else. So it's just something that I've had to grow accustomed to. But back to high school. When I was in high school, I was known as Crazy Traci. I had developed a way to compartmentalize many aspects of my day. My brain had developed a way to deal with stress and anxiety by building up these amnestic barriers. Some of you may have heard of a disorder called dissociative identity disorder. Well, that's something I live with every day, and which is why I'm kind of going back and forth right now in front of you. But even though I struggled, and they would frequently give me alternative assignments to do in class because they were afraid of my stability, and it made me feel more and more like an outcast, like an outsider, like I didn't belong. I did not belong to the community within which I was in. And so, even though that, I was always anxious to help people. I would look around me and I would see people who have had similar stories to mine, and I would share with them a little bit about me, and they would share a lot about them. And I petitioned the school to start, because they had substance use groups and these other groups, but they didn't have a sexual abuse survivors group. So I petitioned the school, and we started one in my high school. That was my first venture into advocacy, and it hasn't stopped. Like I said, I was known as Crazy Traci, and I would flee in and out of different personas, or whatever you want to call them, and the teachers didn't know how to handle me, but I felt alone even amid my peers, and I wanted to make sure no one else felt alone like I felt alone. So I would share my story, and I would talk to them and let them talk to me. The school psychologist blindly said to me one time that I didn't belong anywhere but in a mental institution.
Oh my God.
If he could only see me, he would know how resilient I am.
Yes.
he would know that I would go on to graduate with honors from high school, be awarded a Rotary Club scholarship to go to school, graduate with honors from a prestigious undergraduate program, go on to get my master's degree, and I am currently pursuing my PhD. Thank you. Thank you. If he could only see me, if he had only taken the time to get to know me, he would know that I would go on to found 2 nonprofits to help my peers. One is in Northern Virginia called Trillium Drop-In Center, and one is down here in the Richmond area called Rise Phoenix Rise. And that's an animal-assisted wellness program. If he only took time to get to know me, he would know I would come to the table over and over again. He would know that I embrace the movement and negate the chaos. So, like I said earlier, about 5 years ago I was declared legally blind. Jessie has been a great help to me. I told you she was a ham. But courage to me is born in the faces of my peers and in their stories. If you could see me, if I have self-doubt myself. And then I stop and think to myself, if I could see me, I would know what accomplishments I have done. I would, I'm sorry, I lost my place.
You're amazing.
I'm here in Richmond.
Yeah.
I'm telling everyone that everything is worth it. So, there was something else I wanted to say, and that's, I believe that I am resilient, just like I was as a child. I believe that I persevere, and I believe that I am, even amongst all my hospitalizations, I still manage Rise Phoenix Rise. I still maintain an A average in my PhD program.
Yes.
And I'm active in my community and in my church.
Yes.
If you could see me, you would see a reflection of yourself. Because we all are peers. And we're more alike than different. And after all these years, I know who I am. And I know who my tribe is. Thank you.